Hello, good afternoon to everyone. Myself, Professor Swapnil Thorat. Today I will teach you another new lesson of the physics, that is lesson number 5, simple machines. Okay, simple machines, that is the today's point we have to discuss in detail. So what are the key concepts we have to see? Different points we have to discuss. So, see the key concepts we have to discuss, that is simple machines. The meaning, the definition of simple machines we have to see. Then, functioning of simple machines we have to see how they are work. Okay, that we have to do, that we have to discuss. Then, we have to see total 6 types of simple machines such as lever, inclined plane, wedge, screw, pulley, wheel and axle. Then we have to see again new concept of leverage. What do you mean by leverage? Then we have to see relative positions of load, effort and fulcrum in 3 classes of levers. Okay, and finally we have to see care of machines. Okay. So now focus on the first paragraph, which explains the definition of the work. So what do you mean by work? So work is nothing but it is the force multiplied by displacement. Okay, force into displacement is nothing but the work done. Okay, and work is done when you are applying the force by moving some object through some distance, then and then you can say the work is done. Okay, but we consider mechanical work. So for the mechanical work we require some machines. There will be simple or complex machines, but in this lesson we will only discuss about the simple machines. So with the help of simple machines we are performing our work within less time, within less efforts. Okay, and much energy is saving by using some simple machines. Okay, and our work is finished within the time. Okay, so that is the importance of the simple machines. So in this lesson we have to focus on total 6 types of simple machines, their construction, their working, their diagrams. Okay, their actual functioning, and finally we have to see their care, how we can take care of them. Okay, so work is said to be done when a force applied on an object displaces the object in the direction of force. Suppose you have to move the chair. Chair. Okay, so if you have to pull the chair, then you have to stay in the right direction so that you can move the chair in the right direction. And suppose you have to push the chair, then you have to remain in the left direction so that you can push the chair in the right direction. So the activity of pulling and pushing, that is nothing but the force, and with the proper force there should be some displacement, some movement of the object, then and then only the work will be done. Okay, and this work is possible with the help of some machines. So before that we will start the machine definition. So machine means what? What is the advantage of machine, and what are the different interesting facts regarding the machine, we will see. Okay, so focus on this square. I am reading. So machines makes our work easier. When we think of machines, we usually think of big and complicated machines such as washing machine, sewing machine at home, or large machines in workshop or the any factory. Okay, but even a simple machine, even a simple tool such as spoon, spanner, nail cutter, nut cracker will be the simple machine, and they will make our work easier. Okay, so machine is the mechanical equipment but the machine. Okay, so it is very difficult to open the lid of a tin can by your bare hands, because with the help of hands we cannot apply the sufficient force. So for that purpose we have to use the simple machine, and the name of that simple machine is the bottle opener, or you can use the spoon to open the lid of the any can. Okay, what is that mechanism actually? By using the spoon, the force that you are applied on the spoon, that force is concentrated at some specific point, and that force is utilized in proper direction. Okay, so that our work will be reduced, our time will be reduced. Okay, and finally the work will be completed. So machine, simple machine is working in this way. So now we will move towards the history of the machine. Who has invented the first machine in the world in the science? So see about him some interesting things. That is James Prescott Joule. Okay, Joule is the name of the scientist, and his invention is the Joule's effect. Okay, remember the unit, the SI unit of the work and energy is same. That is nothing but the joule, and the symbol for the unit is capital J. So what is the theory behind the James Joule? So he found the theory, that is the conservation of energy. What is that? Energy cannot be created nor be destroyed. Only one form of energy is converted into another form of energy, and total energy in the universe remains constant. That's the main outcomes, findings of the Joule's law. Okay. Second invention is the laws of thermodynamics, and last is the transfer of energy. So these three basic inventions are made by the James Joule, and these three inventions are very useful for the machine working or for the design of any machine. Okay, now see the next page. Everybody, we have to move towards the next page. So now students, see the activity 1 which is given. You have to find out the names of the simple machine. So starting from the first machine, the first machine is of the nail cutter. Okay. Second is the manually operated weighing machine. Third is the scissor. Fourth is the spanner, and fifth one is the bicycle. Okay, but you have to classify the machines simple and complex machines. Okay, so weighing machine, manually operated weighing machine, which is shown in the second figure, and fifth one, that is the bicycle. Both these are the complex machines. They are not the simple machines, because they contains more than one moving parts or mechanisms. But in case of first, third and fourth, they are the examples of simple machines. They contains maximum one moving part or zero moving parts. So they are the simple machines. Okay. Now we will be focused on the functioning of the machines. What are the different functions that are performed by the every machine? We have to see it one by one. So carefully listen all these points with the help of diagrams. Okay, so changing the magnitude of applied force, that is the first function that is done by every machine. Okay, for example, we will take the example of the inclined plane. So with the help of inclined plane, what happens, we are able to move heavy object on any slope. Okay, with the help of the wooden block. Here wooden block is the inclined plane. What is the use of that? With the help of less force, with the help of less efforts, we are able to move the heavy objects, or we can lift or lower the heavy objects, so that your force is utilized in proper direction. Okay, in other words, you are changing the magnitude of applied force. Okay, so here the inclined plane is the simple machine which helps to change the magnitude of applied force to make our work very easily. Second, changing the magnitude as well as direction of applied force. Okay, so magnitude and direction, for that we will take the example of the bottle opener. So here bottle opener is the best example. This is the common example, and in this, that is a simple machine. Bottle opener is the simple machine, and our muscular force or muscular energy, its magnitude is increased by some amount, and that is utilized in the proper direction in order to open the lid of the any bottle. Okay, so these are the two main functioning done by every machine. First is the changing the magnitude, and second the changing the direction of the applied force. You have to remember all these functioning with the help of the diagrams. Okay, now see the next point. So now we will move towards the new point, that is the mechanical advantage of machine. So mechanical advantage means how the machine is effective, how the machine is completing its given task within less time and within less efforts. That is the mechanical advantage. Okay, so the definition is the factor by which a machine multiplies the force applied is called mechanical advantage. Okay, means how much force is goes on increasing and how the machine utilizes that in order to complete the any work or any task. It is called as mechanical advantage. So here again the two different definitions are there. So first is the effort. So what do you mean by effort? So the force applied on the machine to do some useful work, it is called as the effort. And second thing is the load. What do you mean by load? The force applied by the machine on the object. Okay, that is the load. Try to understand, the two different things are there. One is the effort, second is the load. So effort is used when you have to lift the load. Okay, and load is nothing but the one type of the weight. Okay, and the ratio of the load to the effort is nothing but the mechanical advantage. So again there are the three conditions. So if effort is less than load, then the ratio is greater than 1. If effort is greater than load, ratio is less than 1. And if both are equal, then the ratio is equals to 1. Okay, so machines have mechanical advantage greater than 1. They are very useful and they makes our task very easy. So every machine, every simple machine should have mechanical advantage greater than 1. Means we have to apply the less efforts in order to lift the load by using less efforts, and that machine is the ideal machine. Okay, so machines usually multiply the applied force or effort or some machines change the direction of the applied force. Okay, you can give the example of pump. The pump is used to draw the water from the well, which is shown in the picture. So that changes the direction of the applied force, the force which is applied by your hands on the handle of that pump. Okay, now we will move towards the next point, that is the efficiency of machine. That is the common thing regarding every device. Efficiency means how much it gives the output by providing some inputs. Okay, so see, the work done by machine is called the output or output energy, or it is also called as work done. And what is the input or input energy? That is nothing but the fuel or supply of electricity which is given to the machine. So efficiency is simply the ratio of work done by the machine to the work done on the machine. In other words, it is the ratio of output energy to the input energy. Okay, and generally the value is 80%. The mechanical efficiency is about the 80%. So 80% efficiency is useful to make the any type of work. Okay, so mechanical advantage of a machine is about the force applied. Okay, how much force you are applied, that is related to the mechanical advantage, and efficiency is related with the work done, how much work is done or created finally. Okay, so try to understand the two different things, that is the mechanical advantage and efficiency of a simple machine. Now we will discuss the first type of the simple machine, that is the lever. So students, you can see the first type of simple machine, that is the lever. So what do you mean by lever? So lever is nothing but the one type of rigid bar. Okay, it is solid in state and it is very rigid, it is strong, it is in straight line shape. Okay, so a rigid bar that can rotate freely about a point, that point is called as fulcrum point. So there are the three different points for every lever. First is the fulcrum, which is the fixed point about which the lever is rotating. Second is the load point, means the object to be lifted or moved with the help of the lever, that is called the load. And last is the effort. So effort point means the point at which you are applying the force to lift the load. Okay, and depending on the positions of these 3 points, there are again 3 classification of levers, that is class 1, class 2 and class 3 figure. For your simplicity, you can observe the diagram also of the lever. So see it, this is the diagram. A man is try to lift the oil can by using the lever. Okay, so basic parts of the lever are shown in the diagram. Centrally pivoted fixed point is the fulcrum, the point which is towards the man at which he is applying the force, that is the effort, that is the effort point, and in the opposite direction, that is the load point. So how the principle, how the mechanism happens by operating the lever? So it is very simple. Now focus on the square that we have to discuss it. So very carefully see the functioning, see the diagram of the principle of the lever. Okay, so figure 5 and 5 already we have discussed, that is the crowbar. So crowbar is also one type of the lever. Okay, then the distance from the load point to the fulcrum point, it is called as load arm. This is the definition of load arm. And second is the effort arm. What do you mean by effort arm? The distance from the effort point to the fulcrum point. This is called as effort arm. Okay. Next example is of seesaw. Seesaw is also one type of the lever. Okay. When two children with unequal weights sit on a seesaw, the lighter child has to sit further away from the fulcrum than the heavier child to lift him. So what is the principle behind this? The principle of a lever states that the product of the load and the load arm is always equals to the product of the effort and effort arm. Okay, that is the main principle. So load to the effort is always equals to effort arm to the load arm, and this ratio is called as mechanical advantage of a lever, or in short it is called as leverage. Okay, now we will see the class 1 lever. What do you mean by class 1 lever and what are their examples? So see it carefully about the class 1 lever, which is given on page number 57. So in class 1 lever, what happens? It is very simple. At the center there is a fulcrum point which is fixed. On the other side there is a load point, and in the exactly at the opposite direction at its end there is a effort point. Okay, that is called as class 1 lever. So fulcrum is located in between effort point and the load point. Okay, so pair of scissors, pliers, wire cutters, beam balance, crowbar and seesaw are the examples of the class 1 lever, and it is depend on the positions of the load, effort and fulcrum point. Okay, now see the next point, everybody. Okay students, what is the interesting fact regarding the class 1 lever which is given? So in class 1 lever, what happens? The effort arm can be longer than or equal to or shorter than the load arm. So the value of the mechanical advantage is varying. It is equals to 1, it is less than 1 or greater than 1. So class 1 levers generally help by multiplying the applied force. So it is also called as force multiplier. Okay, so the bottle opener is the force multiplier machine, and class 1 levers are also acting as a force multiplier. Okay, so class 1 lever can lift heavy loads with the application of small efforts. Okay, and such a levers act as a force multiplier. So this is all about the class 1 lever. Okay, now see about the class 2 lever. Okay, in class 2 lever the best example is the lemon squeezers, bottle opener, wheelbarrow, nutcracker, paper cutters. So wheelbarrow is the first picture which is shown, and second is the bottle opener. So both are the examples of the class 2 levers. So what is the interesting thing regarding the class 2 lever? So in class 2 lever, what happens? Your load point is situated in between effort point and the fulcrum point. Okay, there is a quite change in the design of the class 2 lever. Okay, only this is the difference. Okay, and wheelbarrow, bottle opener are the best example of the class 2 levers. Now move towards the class 3 levers which is given. So ice tongs and hockey sticks. Ice tongs and the hockey sticks, which are the best example of the class 3 levers. Okay, so in class 3 lever, what happens? Your effort point your effort point is lies in between the fulcrum point and the load point. That's the difference. Okay, so what are the examples of class 3 levers? A hockey stick, the ice tongs, tweezers, forceps are some examples of the class 3 levers. Okay, and the mechanical advantage of class 3 lever is always less than 1. Okay, and mechanical advantage of the class 2 lever is always greater than 1. So class 2 levers are in maximum use because they are having the mechanical advantage greater than 1, because they are lifting the load with minimum efforts. So this is all about the lever. That is the first type of the simple machine. Now move towards the second type of the simple machine, and that is nothing but the inclined plane. Okay, so what do you mean by inclined plane? It is the one type of simple machine, and the definition is given at the first point, which is shown in the square. So it is a rigid sloping surface over which heavy loads can be raised or lowered to a certain height or depth. Okay, the picture of the inclined plane is given. Okay, and the mechanical advantage of an inclined plane is the ratio of the length of the plank. Plank is also called as inclined surface, to the vertical height of the load that we are raising. So the mechanical advantage of inclined plane is greater than 1. Okay, and it is acts as a force multiplier. So this means that the inclined plane can be used to lift heavy loads with less efforts. What are the examples of inclined plane? Such as ramps, roads on hills, and staircases. Okay, these are the examples of the inclined plane. With the help of less efforts, we can lift or lower the load. Okay, and we will make our work very easy. So the amount of push depends upon the weight of the load and stiffness of the load. Okay, if more heavy object is there, then you will require the more force. Okay, and if the slope is very high, stiffness of the slope is high, then you will require more force, and the slope of the stiffness is low, you will require the less force. Okay, so all these things are depend on each other. So you have to remember about the inclined plane. Now move towards the third type of the simple machine, which is nothing but the wedge. What do you mean by wedge, and how the wedge is formed? We have to see. So see the square which is shown about the wedge. So what is the definition of the wedge? A wedge is double inclined plane such that two sloping surfaces taper to form a sharp edge. Okay, so wedge is the simply the combination of the two inclined planes. Okay, they are sloping and they are also taper, and when they are contacted each other at that surface, they forming a sharp edge, and that sharp edge is used for the cutting action. Okay, for the slicing or pushing the things apart. So what are the best example of the wedge? That is the knife and axe are the most common examples of the wedge, and we are using the wedge for the cutting purpose or to make the slices. Okay, see the examples of the wedge, that is the chisel and axe. Remember these two examples of the wedge. In some cases, the number of inclined planes can be more than 2. Okay, when there are more than 2 sloping surfaces, they generally taper to form a very pointed edge, such as pins, nails, and needles are some of the examples of the pointed edge. So these are also one type of wedges. Now we will see the next type of simple machine, which is called as screw. Okay. So what do you mean by screw? It is the most common mechanical equipment, or you can say component, for the tightening or for the joining purpose. It has a special design that is called as thread, and that thread is actually responsible for the joining purpose. Okay, and on the nail there is a no such a shape or design. Okay, so what is the difference between screw and the nail? With the help of screw, we can easily tightening the two different parts very easily with less force, with less time, because of a special design provided on the length of the screw, and that design is called as the spiral edge or the thread. Okay, a screw looks like a nail with the grooves cut spirally into it. Okay, so this is the screw, and one very basic experiment to form the inclined plane from the screw which is given. Okay, so from the inclined plane how will form the screw which is given. So screw is a cylindrical rod. Okay, screw is the cylindrical rod marked with winding spiral edge, that is called thread, and a screw looks like a nail with grooves cut into it. So for that we have to see one simple activity, and the aim is to verify that a screw is a special type of inclined plane. The material required is a piece of paper, an iron nail, and pair of scissors. So procedure: cut the paper in the shape of a right angle triangle to form an inclined plane. Okay, and finally wrap it around the iron nail as shown in figure. So see the two different figures, and in the second figure we are wrapping the paper along the length of that nail, and that nail is looking like the screw. Okay, so observation is the sloping edge of the paper looks like the threads on a screw. Okay, you can also see the diagram of the screw and the special design which is used on the length of the screw. So the principle of the screw also applies to the nut and bolt arrangement, and screw jack which is used to lift the car, and also for the long handle rotates the screw of a jack and the car. Okay, so for the lifting of the car we are using the jack, for the long handles and for the nut and bolt we are using the same procedure, same principle which is found in the screw. So now we will move towards the next type of simple machine which is called as the pulley. So what do you mean by pulley? So pulley is the one type of simple machine. Okay, and the definition is given. What is the definition? So a pulley is a wheel or circular disc that can rotate freely about a fixed point. Okay, a pulley is made up of flat circular disc of metal or wood having a groove along its rim. Rim means along its total diameter, along its edges. A pulley rotates around a fixed point, passing through its center. So what is the use of the pulley? To lift the heavy objects. For that purpose, pulley is using a rope or a metal chain passes through the groove, and the groove prevents the rope from slipping off the disc. The load to be lifted is attached one end of the rope, whereas the effort is applied at the other end. That is the simple construction of the pulley. Now see the actual diagram of the pulley. single fixed pulley and single movable pulley. The difference is that in single fixed pulley, it has a fixed axis of rotation, and in single movable pulley, the axis of rotation is not fixed, it is moving. Okay, see the diagram also, the two separate diagrams for the fixed pulley and movable pulley. Okay, so for the fixed pulley, while using this pulley, we pull the rope downwards so that the load moves upwards. Here the effort moves through the same distance as the load. Okay, so this type of pulley is commonly used to draw the water from wells. Okay, this pulley already observed many students. Single fixed pulley that is used to draw the water with the help of bucket from the well. Then second is the single movable pulley, which is used in cranes, hoist to lift the heavy loads. In that what happens, one end of the rope which passes over the groove is tied to a rigid support, and the effort is applied on the other end of the rope. The load is attached to the pulley, and this type of pulley is generally used by cranes, as already we have discussed. So this is about pulley and its two types. Pulley is also one type of simple machine. Now we will see the last type of the simple machine, that is the sixth type. It is named as wheel and axle arrangement. So see the construction, see the diagram of it carefully and try to understand its some mechanism one by one. So it contains the two different parts. As the name suggests, wheel is the one part which is rotating, and it is controlled by other part which is called as axle. It is rotating, okay, which is not sliding or reciprocating, which is only rotating, and the movement of the axle is controlled by the wheel, remember. Okay, so the machine is the combination of a wheel and axle. A wheel and axle arrangement consists of the wheel attached to a rod, and that rod is called as axle, such that when the wheel is made to rotate, the axle also rotates. Okay, so in short, the movement of the axle is controlled by the wheel or handle, not the tire wheel. It is the handle wheel, or you can simply say as handle. So steering wheel, this is the best example of wheel and axle arrangement. So it has the one steering wheel, which is rotating clockwise, anti-clockwise direction. So if you have to take the right turn, then you have to move the wheel handle in the clockwise direction, so that axle is also rotating in clockwise direction, and the two front wheels of the car will be moved in the right direction, and finally your car will reaches at the right hand side direction. So in short, the controlling of the front wheel is controlled by the axle, and the total movement is controlled by the wheel. So this is all about the wheel and axle arrangement. Another example is of a spindle tap. Okay, is also one type of the wheel and axle arrangement. Now see the next point, very most important point, care of machines. What precautions we have to take while we are operating any machine. So first is, machines should be kept in a clean environment which is free from dust and moisture. Second, when the machines are not in use, machines should be kept covered to prevent the collection of dust on them. Machines made up of iron should be protected from rust by coating with the paints and varnishes. And finally, the moving parts of the machine should be regularly oiled, lubricated with a good quality machine oil, to reduce the friction, wear and tear. Oil such as Castrol, Vedol. And what do you mean by wear and tear? During the continuous use of any machine, there will be the removal of some material from some machine parts, and that is called as wear and tear. So in order to avoid that, we have to take care of the machines while we are handling them. So thank you all of you. I hope you have understood this lesson number 5, simple machines. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day.